In 1968, Samuel Cross bought 120 acres of Kentucky land for a single silver dollar. He was 24, scarred from Vietnam, and completely alone. The county clerk laughed. "Son, you can't buy land for $1." Nobody took him seriously. Nobody thought it would last. Samuel did not laugh. "It's paid for. Write the deed." His voice was quiet. The clerk stopped laughing. The deed was written on yellowed paper. 120 acres. One silver dollar. Samuel watched every stroke of the pen. He walked out into a gray Kentucky afternoon. The deed was folded against his chest. He was alone, but he was no longer empty. The beginning was in Vietnam. Tet Offensive, 1968. A rice paddy. Beside him, William Teller lay bleeding. William whispered about his father's farm, the corn at sunset, the creek in August. I was supposed to take over. Samuel held his hand. "When I get home, I'll buy land in your name, and I'll keep it forever." William died at dawn. Samuel came home to an empty bus station. No one was waiting. His mother was gone. His father had disappeared. Only the promise remained. The land was overgrown and rocky, but Samuel saw corn. He saw apple trees. He saw home. He knelt and touched the soil. The first year, he lived in a tent. He cleared rocks until his hands bled. He slept on the ground. He did not stop. At night, he sat alone with a lantern. He ate beans from a can. He looked at the dark land. The promise kept him company. He built a cabin with his own hands. Every nail, every board, his hands transformed. He could build anything now. In 1972, he met Ruth at a church picnic. He told her about William. He told her about the promise. She said, "Then we'll keep it together." They married at the edge of the land. No church, no crowd, just a promise. That was enough. 55 years passed. Ruth died in 2018. Then, in March 2023, a letter arrived from Heritage Land Holdings. The letter claimed a loan from 1956 was never satisfied. It said the land was never legally his. He had 60 days. Samuel did not panic. He pulled out an old shoebox. 55 years of papers. He had kept everything. He drove to town in his old Ford truck. Fog covered the fields. He was 79 years old. He was not afraid. The lawyer was Amos Petrie. He had practiced for 44 years. He read the letter. "How long have you lived on this land?" Amos requested everything. Boxes of documents arrived. He worked through the nights. His coffee went cold. Night after night. Alone in his dark office. Papers everywhere. He was looking for something. He knew it was there. Page 47. A handwritten note from 1962. Debt satisfied in full. Title cleared. 6 years before Samuel bought the land. Amos called Samuel. The debt was paid in 1962. In their own documents. Page 47. Samuel said, "So they knew." That night, Samuel sat alone at his kitchen table. He looked at the window, toward Ruth's grave. He was ready. The hearing was set for a cold October morning. Samuel drove alone. "I started this alone. I'll finish it alone." The courtroom was dark and cold. 2 Heritage lawyers sat across from Samuel. His face was stone. Judge Martha Stoddard grew up on a dairy farm. She did not admire corporations who try to take land from the elderly. She held up page 47. "Ms. Dutton, can you explain how your client acquired a claim satisfied 61 years ago?" The lawyer paused. "Prompt 30, 5:48 to 6 o'clock. Dismissed with prejudice. It cannot be refiled. Ever." The gavel fell. Samuel did not move. "It's over, Samuel. You won." Samuel nodded once. The way a man nods when something he already knew has finally been said. He walked out of the courthouse into a gray afternoon. He drove past the church, past the feed store, down his gravel driveway. He walked to the hill. Ruth was buried under the maple tree, 50 years old now. He knelt. I kept it, like I promised. That night, he placed 3 things on the table: a silver dollar, the original deed, and page 47. The fire crackled. The porch light was on. He left it on for Ruth every night. He looked at his land. The creek ran past. The maple tree stood. The land was still his. It would always be his.